Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Higher Paradigm YouTube channel and podcast. I am your host, Laura. I am going to dive into a topic that my friends and I have been having a lot of discussion around, and we have opposing points of view. I actually think I hold an opposing point of view to much of the spiritual or wellness community, but I want to talk about it because I do talk about it on social media in my stories, and my following is really receptive. And I've actually received feedback that it's refreshing to hear my perspective on this topic, and they want to hear more. They feel supported in it. So it is about psychedelics, a plant medicine journey using marijuana. And I'll start right off by saying it's not that I condemn it. I have a very nuanced point of view around all of this. And the biggest question that I will or would raise to anyone thinking about exploring plant medicine: what is your purpose? First of all, what is your intention? What is your purpose? And for me, if it is a way that you believe or that you are being guided or encouraged or persuaded to expand your level of consciousness, it's going to bring you into higher states of consciousness. It's going to help you connect more deeply with God. It's going to open you up more spiritually, or it's going to deepen your healing journey. I encourage you, and I encourage everyone to go within. And what does your heart, your body, your spirit, and God all tell you is right for you? Because in my opinion, and in my belief, and in my experience, we have the power to access higher levels of consciousness, a deeper connection with God, with spirit, with our ancestors, with other beings of light. We can access deeper healing from within and by utilizing our own medicine. And I do feel that right now it has become quite popular to use plant medicine. And when things become popular, they become glamorized. And what that does is alters our perspective, and it invites us to make decisions that might not be in alignment with what our body is asking for or our consciousness is asking for. So it really is important to come back to your sovereignty and get really clear with yourself about whether or not this is right for you. Not because somebody else told you it is, not because you're seeing on social media that all of these gurus or all of these people that are inspiring and influential, that they're doing it and they're having these incredible experiences. That doesn't mean that's going to be your experience or that it's even necessary. I believe that we all have the capability of accessing our own medicine, our own higher levels of consciousness, our own intuition, our own soul's gifts, our own deeper healing. I think when we entrust the body to unveil or allow those things to be revealed in our own divine timing, that is absolutely an important and essential part of the unique journey that each of us are on. So it doesn't matter if Aubrey Marcus is doing it all the time or doing it frequent or however often. I don't know how often he does it, but he is an example of someone who has these profound breakthrough experiences on plant medicine. That does not mean that for you, it's necessarily the right choice. It's his experience is not yours. We are all individual and we all have our own unique chemistry. And in terms of nervous system health and nervous system regulation, while some people have had tremendous breakthroughs in trauma healing, if our nervous system, if our body is not ready to unearth certain aspects of our healing, but we have this medicine that is forcing our bodies to go there, that can be very unsafe and not good for our own journey, our own nervous system, our own healing process. We can re-traumatize ourselves, but we can cause some significant neurological damage too. So I know that there's a lot of research out there in support of plant medicine that backs up plant medicine, but I don't honestly give a flying fig Newton about these studies that support plant medicine because I have my own unique experience, but I will always remind each individual of your sovereignty. You need to make a decision of taking plant medicine or integrating plant medicine or utilizing plant medicine seriously. It is not meant to be taken lightly. As a society, we have been conditioned to believe that putting substances in our body, whether it be plant medicine or pharmaceuticals or alcohol, which is a whole other can of worms I look forward to diving into on another episode. Coming back to this, anything, any substance we put into our bodies that is especially meant to alter our state of consciousness, meant to alter our mental status, meant to alter our thought patterns, meant to alter us physically in body, we need to take it seriously and we need to be very intentional about it. That means we are not meant to be like, well, they did it, so I'll do it too. It is about, this is raising curiosity for me. I wonder if this is the next best step for me is to go on a plant medicine journey, is to use marijuana to enhance or help me have a breakthrough or help me go deeper into my healing. And instead of just on the surface being like, okay, let's do this, you need to sit and be with it. Be with this idea. Be very intentional. What is it that you're hoping to get out of it? Or what is it that you're not even hoping to get out of it? Because this is the other thing. Anytime we set an expectation of what we want to be fixed or healed or wanting to access, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment. It is about being open to allowing whatever is going to come through you, your body, your consciousness, whatever's going to happen, you are going to be open to it. You cannot place expectations on a plant medicine journey because you might be limiting your potential for actual expansion. Because if something happens outside of those expectations that feel really scary or uncomfortable, will you be able to meet that with love? So it is super important to be intentional. I want to explore. I want to expand. And I am willing and open to accept and experience whatever is meant for me right now. And of course, you're going to have different reasons why, but remaining open is so important if that is the path you're going to go on. Connect inward about it and really make a decision from your sovereign self with your intuition, listening and tuning into your body. Close your eyes and just feeling in, how would it feel if we did plant medicine? How would it feel if we did psilocybin? How would it feel if we did ayahuasca? How would it feel if we used marijuana? And will this help? Asking yourself questions like, will this be expansive for me? And just tuning in and really listening to what your body's messages are telling you. So tuning in and feeling into this, can look and feel like when you ask yourself these questions, do you feel your solar plexus or your heart or your pelvic area open? Or do you feel a closure? That's an important message from your body that you can get even more curious and ask questions about. And so getting into the body and asking yourself these questions and listening, and tuning in instead of operating from, oh, but I want to. Like on the surface, I want to. Why do you want to? Is it because you're seeing other people doing it? It looks really glamorous and exciting. I'll be the first to tell you, utilizing plant medicine as part of your journey is not all glamour and excitement. There is some really challenging components to it. You go through a purge process. It is a huge experience for your body and your consciousness. So it's not all glamorous, magical. Of course, there are aspects of that too, but that might not be how your experience goes. And that may not be what's accessible for you at this moment in time. I am a recovering addict. I've been sober for 5 years from narcotics, prescription drugs, and alcohol. What helped me stay sober in that first couple of years was marijuana. And I will be forever grateful for this plan and the way that it supported me through those first couple years of sobriety. And at some point, I had to be honest and say, am I using this as a crutch or is it actually something I still need? It was very clear I no longer needed it. I was working on my nervous system. I was doing healing work. I was already going into the depths. So therefore, cultivated a safety within myself. I felt safe. I no longer was concerned or worried that I was going to backtrack into a cycle of addiction when it came to pharmaceuticals and all those things that I mentioned. So I stopped taking the marijuana daily and I got rid of my medical marijuana card. And then every so often, I would feel this urge, this craving for an experience with marijuana. And I would say, be very intentional. I would set my intention. And this is a big part of what I just said with setting intentions. If you are curious or, you know, dabbling with the idea of taking plant medicine or doing plant medicine, you can be as intentional as possible, but it still may not be enough. In my experience, as I was saying, circling back, I was very intentional. Every time I would use the marijuana, I knew I wanted it to bring more joy to my experience for that time. I knew I wanted it to expand me, but I also wanted it to help me go deeper into my own healing because there were things that I felt were coming up, but I hadn't fully grasped or accessed. And the thing is, when you're doing the inner work or there are things you're scratching the surface on internally, your body will let you know when it is ready to have you access those parts. In my experience, it hasn't been marijuana to help me go there, to go deeper into that. It's actually put a mask or a block around the thing. So it's almost like that part of me was like, oh, I'm feeling safe. I'm coming out. And you haven't used any substance to bury and mask me, or I'm feeling more comfortable in this body. And then I use the marijuana and it's like, oh, well, no, I feel abandoned again. For me, it was used drugs and alcohol for the majority of my life as a way to bury and mask my shit. And so now on the other side of living in that reality, every time I use marijuana, even if it is just marijuana, my body feels abandon again because I abandoned it all those years when I was using drugs and alcohol. So while we have the intention, our body just knows what is and what isn't, especially if it's been running in a pattern for so long. I'm not quite convinced that regardless of that, because you are being intentional, that you are addicted or this part of you isn't going to run that pattern. I hope that that makes sense. So anyway, I would use the marijuana to help me expand, to help me grow, to help me go deeper, to bring more fun to, you know, trips or whatever it is. And what it actually was doing was just perpetuating a pattern that I no longer wanted to perpetuate. I really didn't want to keep cycling through this pattern of addiction, but I still was perpetuating that pattern of addiction with marijuana. And so I had to get radically honest with myself and eventually get to a point where I and my 20 different versions of me who were struggling in addiction had to come into ceremony spiritually and accept that I will never be the type of woman who can use marijuana as a tool to guide me into more of my truth, into more of my sovereignty, into higher states of consciousness, and deeper into my healing. I had to accept that that was not part of my journey, that that was not going to be it for me. I had to accept that this does not de-stress me. I had to accept that it does not alleviate my anxiety. It actually makes it worse. I had to accept that I had it for what I needed it for to help me get sober. But just like many relationships in our lives, they come and go, and they came and they went when they were needed. The same is for our relationship with plant medicine or any substance. So I had to really take radical responsibility for the fact that I never felt the way that I truly wanted. I never felt the way that I truly wanted to while using marijuana and psilocybin. I was doing plant medicine journey in 2022. The level of healing and the level of expansion and the level of consciousness that I was able to get to did not match the level that I'm able to get to in breath work, in somatic breath work, in movement, in meditation. Far outmatches the experience that I had on plant medicine. And again, this is my own experience. I just don't, for me, it's all of it is not for me. All of it is not for me. My life, my journey, my consciousness, my ability to up level into the woman I know I'm here to be and who I am moving towards is a woman who is completely sober, because the levels of depth that I am able to get to within myself and connect with God and connect with my ancestors. I mean, it's unmatched in breath work with breath work. I have had several deeply profound experiences utilizing my breath and getting into my body and connecting with my body. I have had ancestors spiritually with me, working on me as I'm in breath work, moving my energy into the earth, doing like surgery on me. I have had ancestors coming through and celebrating and ceremoniously bringing through a rebirth version of me. I have had God and Jesus there. I mean, there have been such profound experiences that I personally have had by getting into my body and moving through the breath and accessing my own medicine through my breath. So I wholeheartedly believe that if I can do this and access these deep states, these higher states, and also move all of this stagnancy and this density from my body through the breath, through somatic movement, by getting into your body and allowing yourself to transcend in that way, I believe it's possible for literally anybody. It's just what you give your permission to accept, what you give yourself permission to do. Are you willing to do the work, to go there, to access those deeper parts of yourself, to access those higher levels of consciousness by getting into your own body and utilizing your own breath? Or are you giving yourself permission to jump on board with, a tool that is outside of you, that you are outsourcing and that other people are doing, and that you have heard amazing things and you're curious, and that's fine. It's just, this is an invitation to yeah, I just want to plant seeds. I just want to plant seeds of possibility. I want to remind you of your sovereignty. I want to remind you that not everybody's journey is the same. It is really important to tune in. It is really important to get clear, to be honest with yourself and set the intention, and to do this for you, to do this because this is what you feel called to do, you feel God is guiding you into, and to be dead serious with yourself about your nervous system and how you're navigating the world. If you are operating from fear, or you have a lot of anxiety, or you have a lot of unprocessed trauma, it's important that you go inward and you ask yourself if your body feels safe to do this, if your body feels open to doing this. There is nothing more powerful than that. There is nothing more empowering than going inward and deciding for your literal self what it is that is the next best step for you, and empowering to decide with God, your higher power, on what you're being guided to do. Pay attention to synchronicities. Pay attention to evidences all around you that are showing you or sending messages to you to help guide you into what your next steps are too. That's really important also, because when you are presented with an opportunity or you are getting curious, like when you're talking about something and your phone is off, but you're talking about something, and you turn your phone on and that very something shows up in your Facebook feed. It's like when you think about something that you are curious about or you're potentially going to do, it pings the universe, and the universe will respond. And either the universe will respond with messages and guidance to go in the direction of the thing that you're curious about, or it'll show you evidences that this is not for you. So pay attention to all of it. The inside, the evidences, all of it. Make a very sovereign decision for yourself. And yeah, go from there on your own unique journey. I love and accept anyone, no matter what they choose to do. So even if I'm working with clients and they are choosing to embark on a psilocybin journey, or they're on a plant medicine journey, I will love and support them on their journey. I will just, of course, ask them to be continuously tuning in to what their body and their consciousness is telling them, and to be very, very present with the experience, because that is so important and it can support your healing, but you just have to know if it's the right decision for you, and you have to make that choice from your most sovereign self. So, at the risk of repeating myself 9,000 times, I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for listening. Like I always say, take what resonates and leave behind the rest. I hope that this planted a seed, or brought some curiosity, invited you to connect inward around topics like this and get really radically honest with yourself about how you feel about topics like this or about journeys like a plant medicine journey or using marijuana, and that it is okay for you, if you agree with me, to agree with me and disagree with so many people that are popularizing using plant medicine right now. It is okay. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that feel the way that I do because I've been hearing from you in my DMs on social media. I heard it's a relief. I completely understand. And it is okay to have a different perspective and point of view. Share this with anyone that you think would benefit from hearing it. Share it with your peeps. And of course, like this episode if you liked it. Follow me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts if you're listening in. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. And subscribe to this channel. Click the bell. Every Wednesday, the episodes will be dropping and you will be notified as soon as that happens. I would love to hear from you. I would love to connect with you guys in the comments and start a dialogue. So please do that if that calls to you. If it calls to you, you can find me on social media. I will leave that information as well as the information and the link to my website in the show notes. If you feel called to go deep into healing work, if you feel called to have support and guidance through your own unique healing journey, definitely check out my website and see if my work speaks to you. I think that that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Many blessings and much love to you all. See you in the next.